Hi, today's video about Dendrobium Hibiki, and it's Care Collab video. So there are other channels who are making video about their Dendrobium Hibiki, and those channels are Ninja Orchids, Fernanda Nascimento, What's Up Orchids, Orchids 365, Orchids and Finbows, Honeybees and Orchids, and Lynn Smith. So they all will be posting the videos today. Please go check them out, they will be in description. And let's look at my Hibiki. So this is my Dendrobium Hibiki. It is a cross between two species. It's a primary cross between Dendrobium's bracteosum and laevifolium. And it is very nice cross. It creates a pretty robust plant that does not require too much care and produces very pretty pink, bright pink blooms. Now, one of the species, I think bracteosum, is a worm-growing dendrobium. And I think because of that, my plant really liked the conditions of my tank, hot and humid all year round. So it was growing very well. I bought this plant about 2 years ago and it was this size. See, these two bulbs were just starting to grow and those two short ones were there as mature bulbs. And see how short it was back then? And those bulbs or canes grew in my tank. See how tall and I don't know, sturdy they are. So it was growing very well in my tank. And I did not give it any rest, winter rest, so I was feeding it all year round and it was continuously growing. And I noticed that it grows sequentially and blooms sequentially, meaning that when it came to me, it had buds on these two small old canes, and these two canes were just growing. So it bloomed another year from the old ones, and last year it bloomed on this one. But this year, the next one is blooming, this one here. And those will continue growing, this and this. But now this year, this finished growing. See, there is no growing point anymore. So I think maybe next year, these two will try to bloom. But these two, this and this, are still growing. So it does everything simultaneously, grows and blooms and produces buds, but it goes one by one cane, right? And yeah, this year I was expecting more buds, but for some reason this cane decided to give me keiki. Oh, actually two keikis, look, there's another keiki. I don't know why, like I didn't want keiki really. I mean, it has enough canes, but for some reason it doesn't want to bloom. It wants to keiki this year, this cane. And so I'm thinking maybe it is because I didn't give it any even little rest during winter. Maybe I was feeding it too much, so it decided to grow keikis instead of blooms. Anyways, at some point it became too large. See, it is large now, and I decided to kick it out of the tank. So for about 2 weeks now, it's sitting here with my Neos, this IKEA stand, and I'm planning to keep it here all through the winter. And because of that, I think it will be a little bit colder here than inside of tank. And so we'll see how this plant will react to that. So that's how my Dendrobium Hibiki grows. I potted it inside of clay pot with coconut husk chips, And I use coconut husk chips for my dendrobiums a lot because it does not break down as much as the other medium, because it was in a tank, in a humid tank. And moss or bark don't live as long there because of constantly wet conditions. But coconut husks, I didn't repot this plant for 2 years and they were still fine actually. I thought that maybe salts accumulated in there, so I had to change it. So this year I just repotted it recently into a fresh coconut husk chips. But again, I will keep it in the same chips for 2 years. This is the fertilizer that I use for my hibiki and actually for all my orchids. It is Dynagro Orchid Pro Liquid Plant Food 786 concentration, and I use it at a half of recommended strength on each watering. So the label says to use half teaspoon per gallon of water, and I use quarter teaspoon. And I checked the label, it does contain calcium and magnesium in the elements. But I also once in a while, I give all my plants calcium and magnesium supplement, CalMag. But like maybe once every month or so, maybe even every 2 months. So once in a blue moon. Because I think whatever is in this fertilizer probably keeps them happy. But just in case, I'm adding some supplement too. And yeah, Dendrobium Hibiki likes it pretty much. I water it when it's dry. And I don't have scheduled watering for my orchids because they don't dry all at the same time. Like depending on their medium, their pots, or even their root conditions, I cannot water them on schedule, because then half of them I will not get fertilized because they just didn't happen to be dry at that point. So to kind of deal with it, I just add a little bit fertilizer, half of the recommended strength to each watering. And yeah, they like it. So yeah, again, I did not want to bloom for Kerkalap, but I can show you a bud. And please stay tuned to see flowers on this one. And I hope when these huge canes will be ready to bloom, I will get a bit more spikes, hopefully. But other than that, I really like this plant. I think it's a great cross. A nice plant to have. So that was my video on Kerkalab for Dendrobium Hibiki. Please check out other videos in the description below. And thank you for watching and have a nice day.